What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Nerd Level Rising. My name is Jake. I have a slightly different setup here this time. Hopefully this works and this looks a little bit better. I've had a camera for quite some time and I just haven't used it. I've been using my phone just because life was so crazy. I didn't have the time to sit down and actually figure out how to use this thing. So I think I've spent the entire weekend trying to figure out how to do this. And I think I got it. I don't know. We're going to find out. So hopefully this looks and sounds at least just as good, if not better. Hopefully better. I mean, my goodness, all the work that went into figuring that out, and some money obviously for camera. But hey, we're gonna find out. Anyway, here's my week. This is a slightly less interesting reading week, although still pretty interesting, at least to me. But a big show and tell week, as you can see. So we'll jump into what I was reading. I did get through a little bit more of Defiant, that last book in the Skyward series by Sanderson. I am enjoying it quite a bit more than book 3. It's no secret that I struggled through that one, but so far, at least, Defiant has been much better. I'm almost a quarter of the way through that already, so I mean, just the speed that I'm getting through it is indicative, I think, of how much I'm enjoying it compared to the prior book. I did finish Red Stars of Madness, the book I'm beta reading for my friend Will. I had a really good time as I was reading this. This is my first beta reading experience, so I was kind of nervous. I didn't really know exactly, I don't know what to expect or whatever, but I had a good time, and I think, dude, I know Will is really excited. He's getting more feedback from other people, and he's really excited to get back in there and tweak some things and see what he can do with it. But man, this thing is gonna be really, really cool. The characters, like I said before, are awesome. The world is great. This is a really cool book, guys. So keep your eyes out for more updates from him. And obviously, if he tells me things, I'll share them on here. But yeah, man, that'll be cool. Looking forward to that. And then I did jump in to Mercy Tears of the Fallen as my next ebook reading experience. And wow, I'm not super deep. I think I'm 6 chapters in, something like that. But off to a really cool start. A lot of world building, right? That's everybody who's jumped into this book already has told me ambitious world building, right? So that's not letting me down. And I'm excited to see all the pieces kind of start to coagulate, right, to form into what this whole thing is, and have all this kind of start to make sense. Not that it doesn't make sense yet, it's just that there's a lot of pieces that you're sort of orienting yourself to within the world here right off the get-go. But off to a good start on that one. In terms of physical reads, I did, well, actually before this, I wrapped up my my section of One Piece that I was reading. So I was reading the Summit War Saga. Most of that was done last week, the prior week. And then all I had left this week was the post-war arc, that last little section after the main Summit War. And what I had been told is that Summit War is really, really cool, but the emotional gut punch happens in the post-war arc. And they are right. So there's a big emotional punch at the end of Summit War. And the flashback that we get, some of the backstory, some of the context that we get in post-war made that just hit all the more hard, dude. It was crazy. Yet again, I've cried reading One Piece. So at this point, Oda might have the crown for making me cry the most often, but I suppose it helps when your story is that long. Wow. Summit War has just been, it's right up there with my favorites so far. I mean, it's right up there with Enies Lobby, certainly. And I think with a little bit more time, I'll be able to say which one I prefer the most. But I think what I really liked about Summit War, beyond just that part at the end, that big emotional punch, than the context that added more to it, is just seeing where this can go, right? This, we're getting a glimpse into what One Piece can become in terms of the scale and the scope and the combat and all this kind of stuff. And it's exciting. So very much looking forward to getting back to more One Piece. We hit the time skip. So we'll see how we orient ourselves to some of the changes that happen in the next saga as we get in there after the time skip, and we I presume have learned some new powers, new abilities, and things like that. So that will be awesome to get back to. So I finished that up. Then I did my immediate reread of Shadow the Torturer. This is my new obsession, and I have fallen in love with the Book of the New Sun. This is just such an amazing reading experience. This was so much fun to read the first time. And I felt like I caught a lot. I was like, if you remember my update, I was like, yeah, I don't see why people say this is so hard. Of course, some things went over my head, but I feel like I really followed this well. Then we had our discussion with everybody over on John's channel at Talking Story. And I was like, I missed a lot more than I thought I did. So I wanted to go back and reread this with that new context. And I'm so glad that I did. This was a very different reading experience the second time. I feel like I caught a lot of the things that people, it seemed like in that discussion, everybody caught different things and we were kind of helping each other. But when I went and read this again, I was like, oh, okay, I see that. I see this now. I see this. And I have some thoughts and some theories. I've been messaging Sam from iSamwise here and there. Is like, okay, I have this crazy theory. And I'm just throwing these things out. And we'll see if any of them bear fruit. But it's been really, really fun to go back through this story now just with my feet more firmly underneath me, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of it, and it's awesome. So now I think the biggest benefit beyond just that as I continue forward in the series is now I know a little bit more about how to read the books, right? Like I know a bit more about to what degree the attention to detail matters and what sort of details probably matter more than others. Like there's some things that just don't seem to matter a ton. And there's other things, for example, there are some small things like one of the points in our discussion that we kind of got hung up on was, did Severian have money for something? Probably doesn't matter that much. Whereas some other things that are very clearly symbolic, those probably matter a lot, right? So like there's just some things that I feel like I have a bit more of a grasp on how to read this now, and I love it even more for that. So yes, Book of the New Sun, it's incredible. Loving it so much and so glad that I did this reread so quick. I've never read a book again this quickly before. But man, I'm so glad I did. It was awesome. So I finished that up actually this morning, and then I did take a little bit and read chapter 1 of The Will of the Many. This will be my next read. This is our buddy read. This is myself, Chance, John, who I mentioned, Talking Story, Philip Chase, and Jimmy from the Fantasy Network. And this will be really, I haven't collabed with Jimmy on anything before, so I'm really excited for that. That'll be cool. But off to a cool start, right? Just one chapter, not much. I'm seeing the general premise, and I can already see, some people throw out the Red Rising comparisons to this book, and I can kind of see where that comes from, but I also see how it's very different. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'm excited to get into this much more deeply here this week. That is the reading plan for this week, of course. Continue to work through that, Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, and Defiant a little bit before bed. Now, I have a lot of stuff that showed up here. This is just sort of coincidentally, I had a lot of stuff show up here in this past week. And so let's show it off, right? This is going to be the majority here of the rest of this video is showing off some of this stuff. So let me start with, this is a big Janie Wirtz haul, right? It's no secret, one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite series of all time already. I love Janie to death. She's awesome. I had to just get the rest of her books, basically, that I didn't already have. So that's what I did. You remember, I think last week I showed off, I got That Way Lies Camelot, the short story collection, and I got Master of Whitestorm, one of her standalones. So here I grabbed her other standalone, Sorcerer's Legacy, small, right? So probably a pretty quick read here. Pretty darn good condition, a couple cracks in the spine. All these are used, by the way. These next few, well, actually not all of them are used. Only a couple of them are. Those other ones I showed off last week were used. That much better condition than those other couple that I got that I thought would be. When they're rated very good, I don't expect the cover to be kind of falling off, but what are you going to do? But excited for this. We'll have to check that out at some point. Sword and Sorcery kind of story, I believe. I also got her Cycle of Fire trilogy. So this is book 1, Storm Warden. This is book 2, The Keeper of the Keys, and book 3, Shadowfane. And these, I love these covers, man. They're just so charming and I love that just old school fantasy vibe. It's so fun. And again, short, sweet, right? I imagine you could read all of these in the time it would take to read one Wars, Light, and Shadow book. But of course, we'll see. Maybe I'm delusional. But very excited to get to these. Those will be just awesome. And we also got the rest of the Wars of Light and Shadow, as I mentioned, right? So I had the first 7 books that Janie so kindly sent to me. And I do want to mention, too, she actually sent me 2 of these Cycle of Fire books as well. I had mentioned to her that I was trying to buy all of her other stuff, and she was so sweet to send me these and wrote a personalized note in here that I'm not going to lie, one of them made me tear up a little bit. So I'm I'm so grateful to call Janie a friend, and I'm just, Janie, if you see this, thank you again for, I know I tell you that every day, but thank you for just being you and for everything. So I got the last 4 books of The Wars of Light and Shadow. So we got Stormed Fortress, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like these mass market paperbacks. A lot of people hate on them. I love this format. I don't know. So I got Storm Fortress. We got Initiate's Trial. Man, these little, I love these emblems on the front. They're so cool. Destiny's Conflict. And of course, Song of the Mysteries. And I did have to get this one on hardcover just because it was available on hardcover. And my set already wasn't going to match anyway, so what are you going to do? That's okay. But I'm very, very excited to have this entire series on my shelf now. Like I said, I'm 3 books in. Curse of the Mistwraith, Ships of Mirior, Warhorse of Vastmark. If you count The Gallant, the prequel novella, already one of my favorite series of all time. It's right up there with my very, very, very favorites, dude. I can't say enough amazing things about this. A couple more things. We got from the Broken Binding, The Devils Special Edition by Joe Abercrombie. This is just kind of unreal with the quality of this. The sprayed, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera. I hope that focuses. But if not, I'll put pictures up on the screen. But the sprayed edges are just unbelievable. The end paper art is just crazy. It's so dark. I hope this shows up on the camera. Oh my goodness. And the embossed black on black. Just, man, you can't beat this. This is just incredible. And I'm sure that the story is awesome as well, right? I've actually not read a ton of Abercrombie. I read the first trilogy, the first law, and that's all I've read so far. It's signed. So, oh man. Okay. We're going to have to make this happen soon. I will make this happen this month, by the way. Reorganize my May TBR plans, so we'll have to make sure that we get to that. That's gorgeous. Broken Binding does not miss, dude. They do not. Then, last book to show off here is A Song for Arbonne by Guy Gavriel K. This was sent to me by the lovely Joanna from Joanna Reads. Fantastic channel, by the way, obviously, but just a fantastic person. I've followed her channel for a long time, talked to her in the comments here and there. I got to be on her channel, I guess a couple weeks ago now, for an episode of Why Read, and I just had the best time talking to her, and Thomas Howell, who was on that call as well. But Joanna is really becoming one of my favorite people on here, and she was so nice to send me this as a gift, and will be my first GGK book, and he's been on my list for a long time anyway. I think I will really, really love his stories, and so this is just awesome to have as a place to start with GGK. And I love having one of his books on my shelf, and will be the first of many, I'm sure. But even better, having a book from a friend on my shelf is just fantastic. So, Joanna, thank you so much. We got more, okay? I have no idea how this is going to show up on camera, so I'm going to try my best. If they don't look good, then I'll just put pictures up. But I got some art to show off, okay? So, number 1. And this has been a long time coming because I had to wait. Just life was busy. I didn't have time to deal with it. Okay, I'm sorry. Life was busy, but I finally got the time to do it. I got some frames, so we got it up. Number 1. I hope that's not too reflective in my fancy influencer ring light. Hopefully this looks okay. Hopefully it's not just super annoying. But if you can't see it on the camera, we got just a little baby dragon reading this book, and the big dragon like reading it, and we got the guy. This is just. How cool is this? How cool is this? And this is painted by Janie Wirtz, by the way. This is a print. It's not just, the original artwork. But, oh, man, that's so cool. That's going to look great on the wall. So we'll have to get that up. Let me set this carefully here to the side. We got another one. Dragon with this wizard, right, in his spell book. This one is a print from a Don Mates painting, right? So, I think it's really cool that they both have dragons. You can see the similarities in the art styles, but also the differences between Janie and Don. I'm so excited to be able to put these on my wall, dude. You don't even know. This is so cool. Both of these I got from Janie when we were at the ICFA conference back in March. That would have been. She had a whole box of goodies that she had brought to the conference, and by the end, well, frankly, it was easier for her to give them to a super fan like me rather than lug everything back home. So I was the lucky beneficiary of circumstance, and wow, is that cool and exciting. And the last thing, again, Janny just being the best person on the planet. Look at this. Bro. Like, fantasy maps are awesome, right? Obviously. We all love maps. How cool is this? How cool is this? This is like, wow. I don't even know. It's like, so this is going on the wall also somewhere. I was trying to figure out a way to get it behind me in my camera frame. I don't know if that's possible just because I was greedy and asked for the big one. But so it might be too big to fit in the frame, but we'll see. In my future, there's definitely a day where I try to reorganize some stuff and see if I can make that happen. I don't know, but I don't want to hide the shelves. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But wow, it's crazy. So yeah, quite the haul this week. Pretty wild. Last couple things before I sign off here for today. I'm going to be a guest over on Noelle's channel. Her channel is called Noelle D. That relatively new in the booktube space, it seems, but she seems really cool. I've seen she's done some videos with some other creators and stuff, and so I'm going to be a guest over on her channel with Tom Orange and Chance, I believe, Chance Dillon. I think we're all getting together to do the book snob thing that some people have been doing and passing around. So that'll be fun. I'm not exactly sure when that will come out, but we're doing it here relatively soon. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not too long of a wait because I think that'll be really fun to hang out with all of them. And then we did finally get our live stream scheduled for the Fool's Hope discussion. Red Company, Chance, me, Chris the Bearded Book Beast, Alex from Miss Candaria. We're going to be talking about the second book in the Last War trilogy by Mike Shackle that it seems like we all have mixed opinions on. So it should be a fun conversation. Okay, I think that's all the announcements I got. I think that's everything. So that's plenty. This is a jam-packed week right here, man. So, wow. Okay, that's all I got for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Actually, comments. I really want to know what you think of this setup. Do I sound okay? Do I look okay? Is the framing like? Give me, if anyone's a tech person, let me know your thoughts. Or just as just any viewer, what is the viewing experience like? I can't tell if this is more difficult or less difficult from what I was doing before. I can't tell. So I'm going to have to kind of figure that out. I think, anytime you change your creative process, it's harder for a minute as you kind of get used to it because you're just so used to what you've been doing, right? So I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully this comes out okay. I don't know. If this video is just butchered, then you'll find out that this approach didn't work. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's awesome to see the community grow, meet more people, have more friends, talk to more people. It's fun, man. It's fun. Okay, that's it. Have a great week. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Any other Sleep Token fans out there, hit me up. New album, crushes. I loved it. Some people say it's overrated. I disagree. I think it's awesome. Okay, that's all I got. See you later.